transportation meeting to order. I'd like to Mr. Cloat to give the invocation followed by the pledge.
Please stand. Dear Lord, we thank you for this gathering, and as always, we wish for your blessings on wisdom, always achieve the righteousness, not be compelled to move off the path. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All members are present. Anyone wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign in with Secretary. We have 1 2/3 that we need to add to the agenda. This speed limit reduction from 25 to 15 on Sagona Road.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Yeah, that's in Donaldsonville. We'll need a roll call to put that on with 2/3.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Kluwat,
Yes.
Councilman Lambert,
Yes.
Councilman Lohr,
Yes.
Councilman Lambert,
Yes.
We'll put that as 9A. We have no presentations. Moving to number 6, Road Department Monthly Report, May 2008. Mr. Turner.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Transportation Committee, I have in your packet a handout that I'd like to very quickly go through to let you know what we have done in the month of May. We have cleaned 3.73 miles of parish ditches, roadside ditches. In addition to that, we have cleaned 2,525 feet of culvert. We are currently on our second rotation, or second round on mowing. We have cut 85, almost 86 miles of state highways. We have cut almost 95 miles of parish roads, and we have now started the second rotation. We've, as far as spraying, we've sprayed over 26 miles of state roads, and we've sprayed almost 96 miles of parish roads. In addition to that, we've cut down 9 trees that were a danger to the public, and we've ground the stumps out on 8 of those. We were able to do those in-house and did not need an outside contractor to do that. Be glad to answer any questions that you might have on that.
Councilman Kluwat.
Yeah, Mr. Turner, how are we standing on the our state agreement on the road?
We are currently still operating under our contract that we had signed last year. It expires, I believe, in July. We have been sent another contract basically to merely extend what we've had. In conversations with the parish president, we'd like to, we intend to work with the state to try to adjust some of those, the amount that we're being paid. Quite frankly, the parish is subsidizing the efforts on State Road. We do, of course, for the benefit of our citizens, want the roads to be mowed, but at the same time, it's really a responsibility of the state, and so our contract with him is a little short, so we're trying to make adjustments to that.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions for Mr. Turner? Councilman Lambert.
Yeah, Mr. Bob, is there any way, like we do in the drainage, for us getting a copy of work orders in our district, for us a list of work orders that's present out?
For what we do on the
Roads and
roads?
bridges, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, in fact, we sent Mr. Grant one. He asked the very same thing. We sent him a report. I think it was over 137 work orders that we did in the month of May.
That would be good. Same thing, we do get it for the, the drainage department.
Yeah, how
As far as the
comprehensive?
council, we can know where our work orders are as far as on the list. And
I see.
We get a constituent call us, we have, hey, this work order's here, it's waiting, different things, engineering or whatever.
Okay. I'll sure look into that, and I'll try to comply. My only dilemma is that I'm not knowledgeable on the cartograph system that in
Yeah.
which that's
That's what it
done, but with the assistance of IT, we can do
Might
that.
be able to work that. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions from committee members? If not, we'll move into number 7, project status update report.
I think it's time for me to kind of give you a status report of where we're at on a number of projects. And I've got it in your packet, this list, and I'll go down and talk about each project that we've got under contract. On the West Worthy Bridge, utilities have been relocated. The bridge project, as you're aware, is under contract. We begin on June the 9th. We're pushing very hard to complete the bridge and open the road back up by August the 9th, and that's the start of school. The contractor does have a couple of weeks beyond that, but he's committed to trying to make the August 9th deadline. On the Roddy Road Bridge Replacement Project, we're in the process of acquiring right-of-way. We probably will bid the bridges out on those after right-of-way acquisitions. Probably going to be either pretty late this year or early next year before we can put those bridges under contract. The Mirror Road Bridge Replacement, we're working with the drainage section, and we would expect to have the Mirror Bridge under contract in late 2008. We really need the Mirror Bridge fixed before we start working on the Roddy Road bridges, and so we're working on that schedule to complete that before we go to the Roddy Road. The 2007 Intersection Improvement Program that's under design by GSA, we're ready to begin right-of-way acquisition on Phase 2. I think there are 3 turn lanes on that list, 4. Jackie tells me there's 4 turn lanes on that, and we're working to get with DOTD permits. I might tell you we've just got a little glitch on our DOTD permits because the individual that we've been working with is retiring, and so all of a sudden we're shifting from a district level to the headquarters level, and I have to tell you I'm a little bit concerned that that might cause the delay, but we'll know later if that's going to be a problem. Boutro Road, I can't say enough for the contractor R.J. Sullivan on this job. He has really went after it. I think we're within a week to 2 weeks of having that project completed. We're on my list. I say we're 90% complete, but actually we're more than that. We're probably 95% complete, and so he's scheduled for completion June 21st, and he's on schedule. Joe Severio, R.J. Daigle and Son, construction is approximately 65% complete. And we're looking for middle to late of August for completion to that contract. Have no reason to know at this time that it would be more than that. The 2006 road program was under contract with R.J. Daigle. That project has been completed. It was the first project that Jackie and I put under contract when we started, and so now that is completed. The 2007 in-house project, the one that Jackie has designed, we're have approval to advertise for bids on that, so we expect that project to be under construction in September. And a number of roads on that project, 38, between 30 and 40 roads on that contract. The 2007, what we call RCO1, it's PEC Engineers, did the design. R.J. Dago & Son is a contractor. The construction's approximately 36% complete, should be complete of the project in August, middle of August of this year. The 2007 RCO2, which is GSA design, R.J. Dago & Son is a contractor. Just really have gotten started on it, approximately 5% complete. Its completion date is September 1 of 2008. The 2007 road widening project, we are ready to advertise for bids on phase 1. That's the widening of 3 roads, Duplessis, Arundel, and Van Bouchard Road. And we'll put those under contract fairly quickly. They're also making, again, kind of the same complications of the traffic permits with DOTD at 4 locations, Swamp at Perkins, 931 at Highway 44, Henry Road at 73, and Seabro at Bluff Road. We're working with the state to get those permits on those. Still completing analysis on 2 other projects, 931 and Highway 44, and 429 and 431. We're also beginning to get into the analysis of Loosemore and 44. That's the kind of where we're at on the projects that we have really on our front burner. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Questions for Mr. Turner? Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Bob, I notice on here the bridges on Riley Road were pushed back till next year you're talking about?
Well, we're buying right away on those projects right now, and I can tell you that the time it takes to acquire the right of way and then complete the design of the bridge and put them under contract, you know, we're running out of time this year. It's going to be late in the year or early next year. I'd like to tell you that I can make it happen faster, but I can't.
Okay.
I will tell you that we are daily concentrating on that project right now. We're very actively involved in the acquisition of the right-of-way and pushing that as fast as we can.
All right, sir.
Councilman Lord?
Mr. Turner, on the 2007 intersection and widening project, we had say the construction plans are ready to advertise for bids. Are we looking at the next transportation meeting, or what's the time frame there?
It's item number 10 on this
The la-
agenda.
The last one. Okay. Great.
Any other questions on the status update? If none, we'll move into number 8.
Number 8 is an item that's been around for some time. It was deferred in last couple of meetings. It was a request by Councilman Thompson to add a 3-way stop in Ascension Trace subdivision on Hemingway Drive. It's, I think that we need to decide one way or the other, either yes, we should do it, or no, we don't, and it's really up to your option to do that. I've had nothing from Mr. Thompson indicating his opposition to it. I think he's in favor of it.
Okay, what's the wishes of the committee?
Just for conversation, I make a motion that we accept.
I second it, that we send it to the full council, and, you know, if we got any questions, we'll bring it up at that time.
Motion by Councilman Blue, second by Councilman Lambert to approve the 3-way stop at Ascension Trace subdivision on Hemingway Drive. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
This next item is a request by Councilman George Valentine to have a speed limit reduction from 25 miles an hour to 15 miles an hour on Eagles Way Court in Dutchtown Hollow subdivision. I spoke to, there's some information that you have from the Homeowners Association. I spoke to Councilman Valentine this evening. He is extremely supportive of this and would recommend that you approve it.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Kluwat.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah.
Discussion, Mr. Lambert.
Mr. Bob, have we spoken with maybe the sheriff department? 'Cause in my past, dealing with reducing it down to 15, it's kind of a hard thing to do to enforce 15 miles per hour in a subdivision. For as once we pass a law, it turns over to the sheriff department. For as enforcing, and
Sure.
I don't know if we keeping in touch with them on some situations like this.
Well, of course, we have, we do signage changes
Yeah.
whenever that occurs, and if a sheriff's officer or deputy is in the area and sees somebody violating the posted speed limit, then they, of course,
Yeah.
would take action. I have to tell you that, personally, I have a hard time at a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit. I think that's just almost too slow. Vehicles, my truck will idle, it seems like at 20. But those are, I think, for the benefit of the residents. They're trying to pull those speeds down, and I certainly support that. But I think there is a real difficulty with a 15-mile-an-hour speed. You might recall Pelican Point, in order to call attention to the speeds, have an 18-mile-an-hour speed limit in their subdivision, and I'm sure that's extremely difficult.
Thank you, Mr. Bob.
Councilman Lloyd.
Mr. Turner, is there a nationwide standard for subdivisions? That's
Yeah.
Maybe, is it 20,
Well,
is it 25?
There are common standards that are utilized in a number of subdivisions across the country. Generally, it's 25 to 30 miles an hour posted speed, and it kind of goes from there. I think our standard is 25. That's why every one of these that come to you, it's making it from 25 down to 15, because the standard is 25. The dilemma that we have, and the dilemma that the individuals have, is that if people did in fact drive 25 or below, it probably would not be a problem. But at 25, they might be driving 35. And so I think the intent is to try to pull that down to some number, and hopefully they'll be in the slower speed area.
Right.
Councilman Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, looking through this package, notice they have a letter in here requesting also some deaf child signs in that area. I don't know if we want to add it to this motion.
That is a non-regulatory sign. That's a sign that we can add ourselves without your concurrence. Those signs are currently up. Councilman Valentine is extremely pleased with those that are in place. But
Very good.
we put those up immediately.
Councilman Kluwat.
Yeah, thank you for the package, because basically that adds a little bit more validity to the request.
Yes, sir.
I'm not familiar with the road. How far is the straightaway between one stop sign and another? I know that usually adds into what, how well people achieve excess speeds.
Yeah, I
How close they
absolutely
are to the
agree.
road, but
I
seems
absolutely
like
agree.
something that should be moved forward.
I think we have someone that wants to speak on it.
If I can.
Please, come on.
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies. I'm Larry Avis, the president of Dutchtown Homeowners Association, and we are very concerned about the speed. For one thing, the subdivision is a dead end, one way in, one way out, 0.9 miles. We do have issues with, it's a new subdivision, and we do have visitors that's coming in. We do have some homes that's still for sale, and they tend to, at 25 miles, guys, I understand what you're saying, and you're right, it's hard to maintain, but we do have young children in this subdivision, and in my opinion, and my counterparts here, if you come into the subdivision, you need to ride your brakes if the car is hard to maintain 15. Most of the homeowners are younger couples, and they have children. And this speed is an issue, and we would like to see it dropped if it possibly can. one way in, one way out. You know,
Councilman Clua?
Yes, Mr. Davis.
yes, sir.
Have your association met and basically you spoke to the folks along the 1 mile or .9 mile stretch?
Yes, sir. We've met and we voted on it,
That's
and it
good.
passed. And if you all would like to see that information, I can furnish that information.
You get that to Mr. Turner, that would be good. No?
I can make that happen.
Okay.
And another thing too, I mean, I'm new. I'm the president of the Homeowners Association. I'm new to the area, and I love the area. You know, it's great. I'm originally from Plaquemines Parish. I'm not a implant from the hurricane. I actually relocated back from Memphis back here, but I appreciate the promptness. You know, we have issues, and our Councilman Valentine and Mr. Turner's group. I mean, so far everything. I mean, it's been great. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Lyon.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion and second. Any other discussion? Motion passed.
Item 9A was added by 2/3 for approval to reduce the speed limit on Sagona Road. That's on the west bank from 25 miles an hour down to 15 miles per hour. That's supported and recommended by Councilman Oliver Joseph. He
So
is
moved, Mr.
present.
Chairman.
Moved by Councilman
Second.
Todd Lambert, second by Benny Johnson. Any discussion? None, motion passed.
Next item is a request for approval of plans and authorization to take bids on the turn lane projects. These are the ones that I'd mentioned up in the road report. We have 3 roads that are in the process of, will be widened and significant improvement made.
So moved, Mr.
We'd
Chairman.
recommend approval.
Moved by Councilman Benny Johnson, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Motion passed.
Item number 11, we can pass on that. It was addressed at the Utility Committee meeting and not, we were previously concerned that we didn't have a quorum at Utility, so we put it on here, but it was passed, so it's not necessary to speak to it on this committee. Item number 12, this is the final change order on the 2005 road project, and it's in a reduction of cost to the contract of $67,689.56.
Moved by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? None, motion passed.
Item number 13 is also a change order in the 2006 road project, and this is a reduction also of $30,475.90.
Motion.
We'd recommend approval.
Motion by Councilman Chris Lohr,
Second.
second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Discussion. None, motion passed.
Item number 14 is a change order to the 2007 RCO2 project in the amount of $23,140.68. I might explain this one a little bit. We had requested council to remove Charleston Road from this road project due to issues that we had with a drainage culvert, and we're going to address those separately. But in addition to that, and that was about a over $300,000 reduction. However, we do have a significant increase in the cost because as we were preparing to do Merritt Evans, we discovered that the bridge on Merritt Evans was in terrible shape, and we absolutely had to do something with it. So in cooperation with drainage, the drainage section was going to pay half the cost of the bridge, we've increased the project to put a box culvert in for this. The net result is that there is a $23,000 decrease in the contract.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Benny Johnson. Second by Councilman Cluwatt. Discussion. None, motion passed.
Item number 15 is the request for approval of a task order to be issued to Louisiana Testing and Inspection. That's for the geotechnical testing on the 2007 RCO1. It's an amount of $16,442.45.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Kluwat. Discussion? None, motion passed.
Item number 16, I might just briefly describe the dilemma that we're having here. Our task order contracts, essentially if somebody is added to the task order, the policy that was set that did that said that there is a $100,000 cap to that contract. If the work that they're allocated exceeds the $100,000, we need to come back to council and have that raised. Now, in addition, we bring every task order to you that's in excess of $7,500. I'm authorized to sign or issue task orders for $7,500 or less. But everything above that amount would come to through transportation through the council. So what we've got, the combination of SJB working on right-of-way on Worthy Road, they're working on Roddy Road, and they're also working on the jail project. So the combination of those three items have exceeded this $100,000 cap. So what we're really asking, coming to you for, is to increase that cap to $200,000. Now again, any task order that's issued to them will come back before you. You're not approving a $200,000 task order with them.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Kluwat, second by Councilman Lohr. Discussion?
Mr. Bob,
Yes, sir.
separated out from the jail, what are we looking at the value for SJB? He's gone.
I believe it's like 40 to 50,000. I apologize, not that I don't know
That's
the
all right,
number.
just basically.
Real good.
looking at a
It's about
breakdown
40
between
to
the jail
50,000.
And what they're doing for DPW.
Yes.
Okay.
We've got them under contract on Worthy Road and Roddy Road, and the combination of those is pushing our 100,000, the cap. So when you add the jail in, we exceed it, and so that's why we're asking for the change.
Thank you, sir.
Any other discussion on the
Sorry.
raising the task order for SJB? None, motion passed.
Item number 17 is the acceptance of road into the parish maintenance system, roads, I'm sorry, more than one. And they're Renaissance Drive, which is 975 feet long. Salerno Drive is 430 feet long. Adrian Drive, 1,022 feet long. And how you pronounce that, Almalfa? Drive, I apologize for not pronouncing that right, 910 feet long. It's essentially 0.63 miles of additional roads. These are roads that are constructed in subdivisions, inspected by our inspectors in-house and recommended
So
for
moved,
approval.
Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Councilman Todd Lambert. Second. Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Discussion. Councilman Lohr?
Mr. Turner, I know we've talked in the past about accepting roads into the system that before in a large subdivision, and if we, before all the filings are completed. And one of the things I noticed in here was that it said end at first filing, so I just kind of wanted to make sure we weren't doing that.
There is a dilemma, and we're currently working with Mr. Grant and Parish President on determining if we have to increase our maintenance bond on roads. Currently, we have 1 year. It becomes a dilemma only when we have multiple filings on a subdivision. As you build out one subdivision, then you extend the next phase. All the construction vehicles
Right.
have to go through the first one to get to the second one, and they can cause significant damage. So we're talking about the possibility of increasing those maintenance bonds for a longer time, and so we are looking at that, though.
Well, I guess that is my concern exactly. I mean, are we rather than just increasing the the cost to fix it, and start fixing them and accepting them in the first phase? Are we working on a strategy to basically work with the developers or something, and basically be a parish policy that we don't accept roads in until all the phases of a subdivision are complete?
I think all of those things are options. We would not exclude the possibility of doing any or all of those. Clearly, there's several things to be considered. Is that if in fact the roads are completed and we have residents living on those roads, we want those roads to be in good shape and not tore up by construction vehicles. From the standpoint of the developer, is that he also has a right to construct additional phases, and we got to reach this compromise between what he needs to do and what we need to have protect our residents. So we're still looking at those.
Okay, agreed. I mean, I think compromise is the right way. Maybe there's, maybe the parish could accept it, but if there's any extra damage caused by those trucks or something, we get reimbursed. But
Yeah.
I'd definitely like us to look at that.
The 1 year maintenance, the theory of it's good, pretty good, provided that they build out the subdivision in a fairly orderly manner. But what that does is protect us against the actual construction of the home. There's concrete trucks that might back over the curb and bust the curb. The 1 year maintenance bond protects us generally on those. However, when we go into multiple phases, then you get talking about the damage to the road itself. And so that's another issue.
Councilman Clue?
Yeah, Mr. Bob, if we could, you talked about reaching a compromise, basically a revision and a review of what you got in place now is, I don't think your fight's going to generally be with the increase of the bond money. It's going to be with the increase of the time that you want them
Absolutely.
to be responsible.
And yes, in
Because
fact,
you do have phases that may run 4 years, 5 years apart,
yes.
some of these places.
Yes, I think those are issues. And many times the developer might complete a subdivision and proceed to sell lots to a home builder who wants to build 16 houses, say, in that subdivision. The developer has completed it, and he would like to be gone from that. He would like to leave and let the home builder finish it. So the time that he has to maintain a bond is critical to him.
If he can show proof of all phases, all possible phases, future phases, you looked at the length of the road and then you come up with some type of unit value for that.
I think all of those are on the table for consideration. I do appreciate your concern because we have the same concern. We are looking at that, and I would hope that we would have a recommendation to come back to you shortly with.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other discussion on this? None, motion passed.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilman Lohr, second by Councilman Todd Lambert to adjourn. Thank you and have a good night.